There is one mistake that causes thousands of people to reach the end of the year in exactly the same place where they started. It is not a lack of intelligence, it is not a lack of ability, much less a lack of dreams. It is believing that your life will change when the right opportunity appears, the right motivation comes along, or the perfect moment finally arrives. But life has never been built that way. It changes much more quietly. It changes the moment you choose to do today what most people will put off until tomorrow. It changes when you keep going, even when you do not feel like it. It changes when your actions stop depending on your mood. That is exactly why discipline changes destinies. Not because it makes you work harder, but because it keeps you from abandoning the person you decided to become every time your motivation fades. Think about it for a moment. How many promises have you made to yourself only to give up halfway through? How many projects have you put off until later? How many changes died, not because they were impossible, but because they were waiting for a day when everything seemed easier? That is how time defeats most people, not all at once, but one delay at a time. The Stoics understood this more than 2,000 years ago. They knew that no one controls chance, circumstances, or time. But every human being can learn to control their own conduct. And that is exactly where true freedom begins. Marcus Aurelius ruled the greatest empire in the world, but he understood that his most important mission was not leading millions of people. It was mastering his own mind, because anyone who fails to master their own impulses ends up living in obedience to their own excuses. In this video, I have gathered 8 Stoic lessons that can help you build the kind of discipline that remains unshaken when motivation disappears, when enthusiasm fades, and when giving up feels far more comfortable than moving forward. Not so that you will admire an ancient philosophy, but so that you will discover how to build a life where your decisions are stronger than your emotions. If today you decide to stop waiting for the perfect moment, write this in the comments and nothing else. I take action, even when I don't feel like it, because the future will never be built on the day you finally feel ready. It will be built on the days you chose to act, even when you did not feel like it. Now let's begin. Lesson 1. The battle against pleasure. You are stronger than your impulses, and today you're going to prove it to yourself. Inside you, there are 2 forces. One thinks long-term, sees the consequences, and knows what truly matters. The other is older, more impatient, and wants only one thing, right now. There's nothing wrong with having that second force. It's part of who you are. The secret lies in which one you put in charge, and when impulse takes control, it always sends you the bill later. Pay attention to how this happens. Your body craves food, and when it makes the decisions, you eat far more than you actually needed. Your body wants rest, and when it makes the decisions, hours slip away in procrastination. Your mind wants that purchase, and when it makes the decisions, you spend more than you earn. It's always the same story. Impulse grabs the steering wheel, and you're the one who pays the price later. That impulsive part of you always makes the exact same promise. Do it now. Deal with the consequences later. Relax, they won't be that bad. It's always the same voice. It's always the same promise. And you've lived long enough to know exactly how that story ends. But precisely because you already know how it ends, you have the power to write a different ending. The experience that once seemed to condemn you to repeating the same cycle is the very thing that gives you the key to break it. Be honest with yourself for just a moment. When regret hits the next morning, was that moment of satisfaction really worth it? When your confidence falls apart after yet another round of procrastination, when the debt keeps piling up, when your mind becomes exhausted from constant stimulation, was giving in really worth it? You already know the answer, and knowing that answer is your greatest strength. So next time, don't think only about the pleasure you'll experience. Think about what it's going to cost you. Think about how you'll feel afterward, standing in front of the mirror, in control of your own life, instead of wondering how you ended up back in the same place all over again. And this is exactly where so many people completely misunderstand self-discipline. It isn't punishment. It isn't denying yourself pleasure because it's sinful or morally wrong. Self-discipline is an act of self-love. It's how you protect yourself from the unnecessary suffering that we create for ourselves whenever we surrender to every impulse without thinking. Choosing self-control means choosing not to build your own personal hell in the present. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give your future self, and that version of you will thank you for it. Abstinence and moderation are not the same thing. Abstinence means cutting something out completely. Moderation means finding balance, and that is one of the highest Stoic virtues. It's learning to approach life with balance, respecting your body instead of declaring war on it. Being disciplined doesn't mean giving up happiness. It means acting responsibly while understanding your own limits. It's knowing when to stop before things get out of control, getting up from the table before you've eaten too much, enjoying one drink instead of wanting them all, honoring the 30 minutes of rest you planned instead of letting them consume your entire afternoon, spending within your budget, learning to live on what you earn. Every one of those small, quiet choices is a declaration of the person you've decided to become. Discipline is not punishment. It is the purest expression of how much you value yourself. It's putting reason in the driver's seat and impulse in the back seat where it can exist, but it doesn't get to drive. For the Stoics, reason should always prevail over emotional triggers. And this may be the most powerful truth of all. The moment you choose reason, the moment you take control of your own mind, you transform your actions. And when you transform your actions day after day, choice after choice, you transform your destiny. That strength has always been within you. Today is the day to use it. Lesson 2. Bring order to your world. The discipline you're searching for will not be born from one grand, heroic act. It will grow from something far more within your reach. The order with which you handle the small things today, right now. And that is powerful news. Because it means you do not have to wait for the perfect moment, the perfect motivation, or the perfect breakthrough. The power to begin is already in your hands. It is in the desk you can organize, in the dishes you can wash, in the space you can put back in order before another day begins. Take a moment and look around you. Your external environment is never neutral. It is constantly communicating with your inner state. When chaos surrounds you, confusion quietly settles within you. But the opposite is just as true. And that is where your strength lies. When you bring order to the outside, you begin bringing order to the inside. It sounds almost too simple to matter, but true power often hides inside simplicity. A made bed, a clean sink, a tidy desk, small, almost invisible actions, and each one is a silent declaration. I am capable of mastering what is within my reach. Epictetus understood this more than 2,000 years ago. He was born into slavery with almost no control over his circumstances, yet he became one of history's greatest philosophers. Do you know why? Because he learned to master the little that was within his control before reaching for anything greater. As he taught, practice for heaven's sake in little things and then proceed to greater ones. Think about the truth behind those words. No one masters the difficult without first mastering the simple. The greatest battle of your life will be won through the quiet practice of small actions, and that practice can begin today. So answer honestly, not to judge yourself, but to set yourself free. If disorder defeats you in the most basic tasks of your day, how much strength will remain for the challenges that truly matter? This is not an accusation. It is an invitation. Because the path does not begin somewhere far away in the future with a better version of yourself. It begins right here, exactly where you are, with what is directly in front of you. Organization has never been about appearances. It is the visible expression of your inner discipline. What exists around you reflects what exists within you, and when you change what is inside, the world around you begins to change as well. Marcus Aurelius ruled the greatest empire of his time, yet he understood that true leadership does not begin on a throne. It begins within. A man who could govern his own mind was able to govern an entire empire. Imagine then what bringing order to your own mind could do for your life, because this is what the Stoics discovered and what no one can ever take away from you. Real discipline is not a rule imposed from the outside. It is a strength that grows from the inside out. Seneca said that we do not waste our lives because we lack time, but because we fail to care for how we use it. And that care does not begin with a life-changing decision. It begins with something tangible: the bed you make, the dishes you wash, the space you reclaim before the day begins. Each of those actions is a vote for the disciplined person you are becoming. And those votes accumulate quietly day after day until one day you look back and recognize a powerful truth. Order was never forced upon you. You built it. Turning chaos into order stops feeling like a chore and becomes a journey. A journey where clarity replaces confusion, determination replaces inertia, and discipline, the kind that comes from within and does not depend on anyone watching you, finally becomes part of who you are. And it can begin this very moment with one small thing placed exactly where it belongs. That is your first vote for the person you are becoming. Lesson 3. Voluntary discomfort. The comfort you work so hard to protect may be the very thing that's making you weaker. And today, you're going to discover how to turn discomfort into your greatest ally. Seneca was one of the wealthiest men in the entire Roman Empire. He inherited a fortune from his father and built another one with his own hands. He had access to everything money could buy. And yet, by choice, he practiced something that most people would do anything to avoid. For 3 or 4 days every month, this incredibly wealthy man gave up luxury. He wore rough, worn-out clothes, slept on the hard floor, ate nothing but stale bread, and drank nothing but water. He abandoned every comfort his fortune could provide, and he did it for real, without pretending, so that the experience of discomfort would be genuine. And he did not stop there. He encouraged his friend Lucilius and many others to do the same, to voluntarily embrace hardship. Why would a man who had everything choose on purpose to live like that? Seneca wanted to prove to himself a liberating truth, that he was capable of enduring loss before it ever arrived. By exposing himself to hardship, he looked his own fear in the eye and asked, "Is this really what you are so afraid of?" And the fear, which had once seemed like a giant monster in his imagination, shrank in the face of reality. It stopped being anxiety inside his mind and became something he already knew how to handle. Think about the power of that. What you deliberately train yourself to face loses the power to terrify you when it shows up unexpectedly. And this practice was not an empty exercise. It built within him a resilience that would one day save his own life. When the unstable and dangerous Emperor Nero turned against him, Seneca offered all of his wealth in exchange for his freedom. Nero was stunned. He could not understand how someone could let go of everything with such calmness, but Seneca had a saying that explained it all. He said that he owned his wealth, but his wealth never owned him. He enjoyed riches without ever placing his worth, his peace, or his happiness in them. That is why he could let them go without falling apart. Most of us live the exact opposite way. We run from discomfort as if it were the enemy. Deep down, we believe that success means never having to struggle again. And so we want everything we want, exactly when we want it, like spoiled children who have never been told no. And notice how a weak mind always finds an excuse. Even when those excuses seem harmless, together they build a prison. They make us dependent, entitled, experts at complaining. They create the perfect environment for failure and frustration, and worst of all, they make us fearful. Because anyone who becomes addicted to comfort eventually lives in constant fear of losing it. Every time you deliberately choose difficulty, pushing beyond your physical, mental, or emotional limits, you are becoming stronger from the inside out. You are proving to yourself that you are becoming less afraid of life. Self-discipline is born at that exact moment. The moment you choose to face what is difficult before what is difficult comes looking for you. Because life will bring discomfort, that is certain. The only question is whether it will find you prepared or caught off guard. The person who accepts hard times and learns through change becomes unshakable, more resilient, harder to defeat, and ultimately freer and happier because they no longer live in fear of losing what they have. Seneca wrote to Lucilius a truth that has remained unchanged for more than 2,000 years. Difficulties strengthen the mind, just as labor strengthens the body. So do not run from the weight. Lift it on purpose. Because every discomfort you choose to face today becomes a muscle of strength you will have tomorrow. On the day, life gives you no choice, and when that day comes, you will be ready. Lesson 4. Stop being a slave. You were not born to take orders from your own habits. And today, you are going to remember who was always meant to be in control. There is a battle that does not happen out in the world. It happens inside you every single day without anyone ever seeing it. It is the battle between the person you choose to become and the automatic patterns that try to choose for you. And it is in that silent battle that your freedom is being won or lost, right now. Take a moment to think about your own chains, because modern slavery does not use iron, it uses habits. It looks like endless scrolling on social media, the notification you cannot ignore. It looks like soda, caffeine, and fast food without limits. The game that consumes hours of your life. It does not matter whether the world sees these habits as normal or acceptable. The only question that matters is this: are they good for you, or are they, quietly, stealing your health and your happiness without you even realizing it? Stop and face this honestly. Why keep allowing these habits to control your life? Why accept taking orders from your body, your impulses, your emotions? Why let the emotion of the moment respond before your reason even has a chance? Neither your body, nor your habits, nor your emotions were ever meant to be in charge. That place has always belonged to you. Slavery was one of the cruelest and most unjust systems humanity has ever created. Choosing to become a slave to your own habits is a prison too, but with one liberating difference. This is a prison you have the power to leave. The door has never been locked. You simply have to decide to walk through it. So ask yourself the most honest question you can. If you knew today everything you know now, every risk, every consequence, would you choose to start that habit again? And if the answer is no, why keep allowing it to dictate the way you live, knowing the damage it has already done? The fact that you made a bad choice in the past does not mean you have to keep making it forever. Your past does not have the power to determine your future, unless you hand that power over to it. And you do not have to. Not today. It does not matter how successful you are in other areas of your life. Sometimes you have to line up your own habits in front of you, like soldiers standing in formation, and look each one in the eye until you discover the truth. Who is in charge of whom? Are you the master of your life, or have you become the slave of a routine you keep repeating on autopilot without ever truly choosing it? Maybe there is a habit like that in your life right now, a battle you are fighting at this very moment. And if there is, listen carefully, because this changes everything. It is never, ever too late to win. What decides that battle is not how long you have carried that habit. It is not how many times you have stumbled in the past. None of that defines you. What decides it is the choice you make today and the person you choose to become from this day forward. The strength to do it is already inside you. It has simply been waiting for you to decide to use it. So choose to stop today. Break the chain, and once and for all, stop being a slave. Lesson 5. Everything changes when you remove the excess. Inside you, there is a peace that does not depend on having anything more. It is already there, whole and complete, simply waiting for you to remove everything that has been covering it. This is one of the most liberating discoveries a human being can make, realizing that you are already enough. That your worth has never been found in the things you accumulate, but in something you have carried within you all along. Once you realize that, something changes. You stop chasing and you start choosing. You stop carrying burdens that were never yours, and you begin to walk through life with a lighter heart. Think about the strength that comes from wanting less. The person who needs very little is almost impossible to break. They cannot be bought, they cannot be pressured, they cannot be controlled by the fear of losing something, because they have already discovered that everything essential fits within their own hands. That is one of the highest forms of freedom there is. And it is within your reach. And here is the beautiful part. A simple life may seem difficult to embrace, but it is far easier to live. Fewer things to manage, fewer worries to carry, less noise standing between you and your own peace. Every extra thing you let go of creates more room for what truly matters. You have felt this before, that sense of relief after organizing a room, after letting go of something that had been holding you back, after realizing you did not actually need the thing you wanted so badly. That feeling of lightness was not luck, it was you rediscovering something that excess had been hiding. And you can choose to live closer to that feeling every single day. The Stoics called this discipline cutting away the unnecessary, and it goes far beyond eliminating tasks just to become more productive. It is a deeper invitation to look honestly at your life and recognize what truly nourishes you and what is simply taking up space. It is the choice of someone who has taken command of their own world. Seneca understood this more than 2,000 years ago, and what he wrote proves that you are capable of seeing it too. He observed, "We acquire so many things simply because other people have bought them, because they can be found in almost everyone's home." He realized that we are carried along by convention whenever we stop following our own reason. That we naturally imitate the crowd as though something becomes more valuable simply because it is more common. If the tendency to follow the crowd is part of being human, then the ability to recognize it and choose differently is part of being human too. Seneca was not describing a weakness with no escape. He was handing you the key. The moment you recognize the chain, it no longer drags you along. Awareness is your freedom, and you have just gained it. In his time, there was no internet. There was no screen feeding you new desires every minute, and yet he described the world you live in today with remarkable precision. Do you know what that means? The wisdom that set one man free more than 2,000 years ago is the very same wisdom available to you today. Human nature has not changed, and neither has your ability to rise above it. Because the truth is this: your worth is not found in your car, your clothes, your bank account, or the image you project for other people to see. Those things come and go. What truly belongs to you is what no circumstance can ever take away. And when you build your sense of worth from that place, from the inside out, you become unshakable. You no longer need anyone else's approval to know who you are, because you already know. So let go of the excess, not as an act of sacrifice, but as an act of returning to yourself. Release what only weighs you down, let go of what was never truly essential, and discover the peace that has been there all along, waiting for you on the other side of everything you thought you needed. Lesson 6. Stop living at the wrong pace. Every great thing that has ever been built started small, and your journey will be no different. You do not have to build everything all at once. You simply have to keep going. Think about the power of consistency, not the explosive burst of energy that lasts for a day, but the small, stubborn progress that repeats itself day after day until it creates something that once seemed impossible. You already have that power. It does not ask you to be the fastest, the most talented, or the most motivated. It asks only that you keep going. And that is something within your reach today, right now. History proves this in a way that gives you chills. Octavian became the heir to the most powerful man in Rome while he was still a teenager. He could have chased immediate glory. He did not. Instead, he built patiently year after year until he became Augustus and transformed an entire city of brick into one of marble. And here is what matters for you. Not a single one of those marble stones was laid all at once. They were placed one by one with patience, exactly the way you will build your own life. If a young man could build an empire one step at a time, what is stopping you from building your life the same way? And this is where you need to understand the difference between two forces that seem similar but are not: motivation and discipline. Motivation is wonderful, but it is temporary. You watch a video, read a book, listen to a podcast, and suddenly you feel like you can conquer the world. You want to drink a gallon of water every day, go to the gym, read a book every week, learn a new language, start investing. All at once, right now. That fire is real, but it has one problem: it burns out. And when motivation disappears, and it always does, the greatest ally you have is still there: discipline. Because discipline is not about running non-stop toward a goal. It is something far more powerful. It is what gets you back on your feet when the desire is gone. It is what keeps you doing what needs to be done, even when you do not feel like it, even when no one is watching, even after the excitement of the first day has faded. Motivation gets you out of bed once. Discipline gets you out of bed 1,000 times. And this is the part that puts you in control. Discipline does not depend on anything outside of you. It does not depend on the right video, the right day, or the right mood. It is a foundation you build within yourself, one that remains standing when everything else falls apart. Once you have it, you stop being a prisoner of inspiration and become the owner of your own progress. That power belongs to you, so do not judge yourself for not transforming your entire life in a single day. That has never been the path, not for you, not for Augustus, and not for anyone who built something that truly lasted. Slow down, but never stop. Take today's step, no matter how small it seems. Then take tomorrow's, then the one after that. Because that is exactly how brick became marble, and that is exactly how you, one step at a time, will build the life that still feels far away today. Slow down, embrace the journey, and trust the process. Every step you take with consistency is bringing you closer to where you want to be. Lesson 7. The disciplined life is the best life. You were not made merely to exist. There is a strength within you that longs for more than comfort, more than the easy path, more than simply getting through each day. And today, you are going to reconnect with that strength. Here is a truth that changes everything. How you feel when you wake up in the morning is not luck. It is the harvest of your choices. It is the direct result of the small decisions you planted in the days before. The person who takes care of their body, who stays active, who challenges themselves, wakes up differently from the person who spent their days giving in to every impulse. And that difference does not come from one big decision. It comes from the quiet accumulation of choices day after day. Think about that, because it is incredibly freeing. Every choice you make is like laying a brick. By itself, it may seem insignificant, but over time, those bricks build the person you become. Today's comfort comes with tomorrow's cost. Today's effort brings tomorrow's reward. You are always building something. The only question is, what are you building? And here is the powerful part. Nature has given you gifts that belong to you alone. A way of thinking, of creating, of contributing that no one else in the world possesses. Look around you. Everything you enjoy today, electricity, technology, every breakthrough that has made your life possible, came from people who chose not to waste what they had inside themselves. They chose to contribute. So the question that truly matters is this: what are you going to do with what has been given to you? There are things that only you can bring into the world. No one else can take your place. And being someone who adds value means exactly that, leaving the world a little better simply because you were here and because of what only you can offer. But to honor all of this, there is one foundation you cannot ignore: your body. Marcus Aurelius understood nearly 2,000 years ago that the mind and the body are inseparable. You cannot take care of one while neglecting the other, and this goes far beyond going to the gym. It is about what you eat, what you choose to avoid, and how you treat the body that will carry you through your entire life. Think of your body as a high-performance car. It is capable of extraordinary things as long as you fuel it the right way. Neglecting it is wasting its potential. Taking care of it unlocks everything it is capable of giving you. And this is where your greatest strength lies. Life will bring you hardships you did not choose and cannot control. That is certain. But what is completely within your control is the decision to become a better version of yourself. No one can take that away from you. It does not have to be something extraordinary today. Choose one step, one activity, one walk, and simply begin. Because self-discipline has never been the enemy of pleasure, it is the path that leads to it. Real pleasure, the kind that lasts, is the reward earned by those who are willing to work for it. Taking care of your body, mastering your desires, working hard, staying active, none of these things are punishments. They are exactly how you discover genuine fulfillment and become the very best version of yourself. So do not settle for merely existing. You were born for more than that. Grow, flourish, and thrive. Lesson 8. Silence is the weapon of the strong. What few people realize is that the way you speak reveals who is really in control within you, reason or impulse. And that is one of the clearest signs of self-mastery there is. We live in a noisy world where everyone feels the need to keep talking, to have an opinion about everything, to prove they know, that they are right, that they matter. But stop and think for a moment. Who truly commands respect in a room? It is not the person who speaks the loudest or the one who speaks the most. It is the person who speaks little, but whose words carry weight. The one whose voice people wait to hear, precisely because they do not waste their words. And here is what makes that so powerful. Staying silent when you could speak is an act of self-control. Every time you feel the urge to interrupt, to fire back, to have the last word, and you choose not to, you are doing exactly what a Stoic does when faced with any temptation. You are placing reason above impulse. Your mouth is simply the first place where that battle reveals itself. The Spartans understood this better than anyone. They were feared warriors, courageous enough to say whatever they wished, and yet they chose silence. Faced with the greatest threats, they answered with very few words, and each one carried more weight than 1,000 speeches. One of them was warned that the enemy's arrows would be so numerous they would block out the sun. His reply was brief, calm, and unshakable. "Then we will fight in the shade." On another occasion, they were threatened with the complete destruction of every Spartan soldier if they refused to surrender. Their answer was a single word: if. Feel what lies behind those responses. It was not luck and it was not coldness. It was mastery. To answer with such calmness in the face of death, they first had to win the battle within themselves, the battle against fear, against panic, against the urge to cry out. Their calm silence was simply the visible expression of extraordinary self-control, forged from within. And that same strength was not reserved for ancient warriors. It is available to you as well. Because this is what few people realize. Talking non-stop is almost never a sign of strength. Most of the time, it is the opposite. It reflects the need to validate yourself, to be accepted, to prove your worth. Someone who already knows their own worth does not need to announce it all the time. Silence, when it comes from confidence, speaks louder than any speech ever could. Think about how this shows up in your own life. At that meeting, at that family gathering, in that circle of friends, there is almost always someone who never stops talking, who never respects other people's space, who feels the need to win every discussion. That person is rarely the one people admire the most, not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack self-control. Meanwhile, the quieter presence carries a silent authority, the authority of someone who is not ruled by their own impulses. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, summed it all up with an image you will never forget. Nature gave us 2 ears and only 1 mouth, and that was no accident. It was so that we would listen twice as much as we speak. And that is why this silent battle matters so much. Every time you hold back a word that was about to slip out, every time you choose to listen when you wanted to win, every time you silence the impulse that begs you to speak, you are not simply remaining quiet. You are proving, in the only place where it can truly be proven, within yourself, that you are the one in control of your life, not the impulse of the moment. This is the kind of strength no one sees and no one applauds. It earns no praise in the moment. It comes with no audience, but quietly, day after day, it is shaping you into someone the noise of the world can no longer shake. So the next time you feel that urge to speak just to prove yourself, take a breath, hold back, and choose silence, not because you are weak, but because you now understand what it truly means. Because in that quiet moment, you have won the only battle that truly determines all the others. The battle against yourself. The Stoic house exists for those who seek, in the wisdom of the ancients, answers to the chaos of the modern world. If these words resonated with you, please like, share this message, and subscribe to continue this journey with us. Until next time.